Oh boy, things are getting really juicy with my favorite sitcom, Kitty and Friends. So I watched the summit, not live because I was sleeping, but I ended up rewatching the stream, and for the most part, there wasn't a lot for me to dive into because these summits are typically just conversations amongst the cast. It's not really meant to showcase like what Sony or Xbox did when they announced a bunch of different things with their showcases. However, there's still some juicy stuff for me to get into. Now, of course, I'd like to briefly comment on this because I never made a video about it. We saw a trailer for Like a Dragon 8 or Infinite Wealth, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Ichiban was naked because why not? I guess we needed to see that. Unironically, we did actually need to see that, since he was surrounded by foreign people, and I think I read somewhere that it was taking place in Hawaii. I haven't yet verified this, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. It would definitely be very interesting to see a Ryuga Gotoku game taking place outside of Japan. Now, of course, that could have been a temporary setting, maybe not even one that's really all that expanded, although regardless of what it may be, I think it has some interesting implications story-wise because Japan has a bit of a military history with the US, Hawaii kind of taking some part in it, and given how Ryuga Gotoku games don't shy away from tackling these subjects, I do wonder how much this could be incorporated into the plot. I wonder if we're gonna see another Yakuza 3 with the glowies involved, especially if Kiryu is gonna be in the game. Let me remind you that this man pretty much has Japanese politicians eyeing on him. If he's involved in the story, something's definitely wrong. Also, we ended up learning about this during the summit. Apparently, Ichiban proposed to Saeko, which, yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out the context behind this because I was definitely not expecting this to happen. Also, so far, we've seen Adachi and Namba, and obviously Saeko will also be in the game. They mentioned her by name. But I had to know if Zao was gonna return because, oh fuck, if he's not in the game, I'm gonna be really mad. But so far, that's all I can count on, although if I'm being honest, I think right now I'm a little more focused on Like a Dragon Gaiden because I'm getting real pumped with the information that we're getting. Now, this game will have Agent style and Yakuza style, with the latter essentially just being Kiryu's old moveset. I'm probably gonna end up spending most of my time using Agent style, but I guess it's fine to have something a little more familiar, even if I would argue that it would be more interesting if he had at least 3 different styles. But regardless, Agent style looks really cool. That rope that comes out of his sleeve looks kinda busted. You can use it to drag opponents or toss them around and hit other opponents, which ends up giving it a lot of value as both a long range and multi-opponent hitting style. You can also use it to catch items nearby. They didn't show this happening in the trailer, so it might not have this effect, but I do wonder if the items while traveling in your direction can also damage other opponents, because if it does, then this style could end up having a similar value as B style, in the sense that with other styles, when you pick up items, it can leave you vulnerable because you could end up getting hit during the animation of you picking up the item. So even though I don't think this is as intuitive as B style, in which you can pick up items during your regular normals, I do still think it could add some level of convenience if the items damage the opponents while traveling. Another move that I also really like is this kick right here. I guess Kiryu took a page out of Mikey's playbook. He also has some really crazy gimmicks like summoning drones and an explosion that comes out when he drops a cigarette. This style honestly looks pretty fun. And another thing about this game that I initially didn't pay attention to was the fact that it takes place in 2018. So at that point, the Omi Alliance wasn't disbanded, and it explains why some of the members seem to be playing a role in the story, which is definitely interesting. Since this game will also take place in Yokohama, I also wonder if Kiryu might end up meeting Songhee or really anyone from Komijul, because he clearly had some degree of affiliation with them in Yakuza 7. Plus, I didn't notice this when the trailer first came out, but apparently the Japanese title says at the bottom, Ryuga Gotoku 7 Gaiden, which technically speaking, it's not really all that relevant, it's just a title, but I do wonder if this game might end up being more related to Yakuza 7 than I might have thought. Regardless, I'm actually pretty excited. This game might end up being as lore relevant as I was hoping to be, and I actually think it's gonna end up being a must play. Also, I know this is only relevant to me and like 0.0001% of gamers, but I believe both these games will work out of the box on Linux. The Dragon Engine doesn't seem to give any trouble to Linux, so even though I'm probably not gonna buy the PC version at launch because I buy the physical copies first, so I'm just gonna end up purchasing the PS5 copies, but it's nice to know that if I ever feel like playing them on PC, I'm probably not gonna need a hypervisor, which is how I've been playing Yakuza 5. The game runs perfectly fine on Linux. It's just that some cutscenes play the wrong audio, which makes it really hard to follow the story. But yeah, so far, I think we're eating. Us Yakuza fans are eating good. With that said, I hope in the future we get any news on potential Judgment games because I haven't forgotten about that series. Lost Judgment is the fucking GOAT. Anyway, hope you're doing well.